Welcome to Helms Construction, where hard work, good laughs, and safety actually do go hand in hand. Before we dive into the job, we've got a few things to cover. The stuff that keeps you, your crew, and your paychecks safe. This isn't a lecture, it's your quick crash course on how to stay in one piece, keep your boss happy, and make sure everyone goes home at the end of the day. We'll walk through what's expected, what's required, and what happens when things don't quite go as planned. So grab your coffee, turn up the volume, and let's get this orientation rolling, Helm style. Part 1, Leadership. Our leadership structure supports accountability at every level. Know who you report to and who to contact for safety or operational concerns. Supervisors and managers are here to guide and support you, but safety is a shared responsibility. All right, let's start with the basics, the health and safety policy. This one's pretty important. It's the company's promise to keep safety front and center. You'll find it posted on the office bulletin board and in the company health and safety manual, which is also in site docs. Now, here's the deal. It's reviewed every year. It's signed by management. And yes, it's dated. Why? Because safety isn't something we write once and forget about it. It's a living document, just like our job sites, always changing and improving. So, if you ever find yourself wondering what's the company's stance on safety, that's your go-to. Bottom line, Helms Construction takes safety seriously, but not so seriously that we can't have a little laugh here and there while doing the things we do the right way. All right, this slide is basically the heartbeat of Helms Construction Safety Program. First off, safety first. And we mean it, not just physical safety, but your mental and social well-being too. We want everyone to show up ready to work and go home in the same shape they came in. Safety isn't an option here. It's a condition of employment. In other words, if it comes down to doing it fast or doing it safe, we're choosing safe every time. Our goal, 0 injuries. That's not just a nice slogan. It's the expectation. Every project starts with that mindset. Now, safety is a shared responsibility. That means everyone's got skin in the game. Management, supervisors, and workers. Management's job is to give you the tools, the training, and the safe workplace to work. Your job is to use it. Follow the practices, speak up about hazards, and help keep your crew safe. And we're always working on continuous improvement. That's fancy talk for learning, adjusting, and staying sharp. Because safety isn't a one and done deal, it's a habit. These are the action points that back up the policy and how we do it part. Number 1, 0 injuries. That's the goal every single time we step on site. Second, prevention focus. Don't wait for something to go wrong. If it looks sketchy, sounds sketchy, or feels sketchy, stop it before it turns into a story for next week's safety meeting. Next, inspections and investigations. We look for hazards. We deal with them. And if something does happen, we figure it out why and fix it. Cooperation and consultation. That's just fancy way of saying teamwork. We talk, we listen, and we solve things together. And finally, compliance and beyond. We follow Alberta OHS rules to the letter, but we also go a step further because we'd rather be the crew setting the standard, not chasing it. Management leads by example. They plan work, provide resources, ensure staff development, and maintain open communication with crews and clients. They are accountable for quality, productivity, and above all, safety. The employer is responsible for providing a safe and healthy workplace for every employee and subcontractor. We maintain a formal health and safety management system that includes inspections, hazard assessments, and regular audits. Safe tools, PPE, and competent supervision are always provided so work can be performed safely and efficiently. When incidents or near misses occur, we investigate quickly and apply corrective actions. The employer meets and exceeds Alberta OHS legislation, develops clear safe work practices, and maintains strong emergency procedures. Above all, management leads by example, demonstrating that safety, accountability, and leadership start at the top. Supervisors are the bridge between management and workers. They assign daily tasks, monitor quality, ensure the right tools and PPE are on site, and provide coaching and mentorship. Supervisors must address safety issues immediately and model professional behavior for their crews. Supervisors must enforce safety policies, confirm worker competency, and make sure hazards are identified and controlled. They conduct inspections, investigate incidents, and follow up on corrective actions. Leading by example means taking safety seriously every day. Worker rights and responsibilities. Every worker in Alberta has 3 basic rights: the right to know about hazards, the right to participate in safety, and the right to refuse unsafe work. If something does not feel right, stop and report it. Your safety comes first. Communication is a big deal around here. It's what keeps everyone on the same page and out of the incident reports. First up, report immediately. That means if something happens, an incident, illness, or even a near miss, don't wait for it to get worse or hope someone else will bring it up. If you notice something sketchy, like a wobbly ladder, frayed cord, or trip hazard waiting to happen, say something. We'd rather fix it before it becomes a story for the next safety toolbox talk. Next, participate. You're part of the team. That means joining in on vehicle and equipment inspections, toolbox talks, and safety meetings. If someone asks for a formal inspection or a hazard review, jump in. Those things are what keep the job running smoothly. And finally, stay connected. You'll see safety alerts and updates through site docs, bulletin boards, and the health and safety committee reps. And yes, we even use group chats and site doc messages because nothing says teamwork quite like 27 unread texts on a Monday morning. The point is, communication is safety. If you see it, say it. If you're not sure, ask. We'd rather have one extra conversation than one avoidable incident. Show up fit for duty, prepared and focused. Follow company policies, use tools correctly, and protect yourself and your team. Safety is everyone's responsibility. Lead by example on every task. Workers must follow the Occupational Health and Safety Act, regulation, and code. Use required PPE, report hazards, and participate in safety training. Refrain from unsafe behavior or harassment. Respect is part of safety. Violence and harassment have no place at work. Everyone has the right to a respectful and safe environment, free from bullying, intimidation, or discrimination. Concerns are taken seriously and handled confidentially. If something doesn't feel right, report it. We all share the responsibility to treat each other with respect and maintain a positive professional culture. Every person has the right to a safe and respectful workplace, free from intimidation or abuse. Stress and fatigue are also recognized as workplace hazards, and help is available if you need it. Violence includes any act or threat of physical or psychological harm, even domestic issues that spill into work. Harassment includes unwelcome comments, jokes, or behavior that cause offense or humiliation. Everyone deserves respect and dignity at work. If you experience or witness violence or harassment, report it immediately to your supervisor or Health and Safety Committee representative. Your report will be investigated confidentially, and retaliation will not be tolerated. Serious incidents may also be referred to police when required. Workers play an active role in maintaining a respectful workplace. Report issues right away, participate in investigations honestly, and treat all coworkers with respect. Remember, help is available, including Alberta's mental health helpline. Psychosocial hazards. Psychosocial hazards affect mental health and well-being. They include stress, fatigue, trauma, violence, and workload pressure. These factors can lead to burnout or absenteeism, but by recognizing and controlling them, we protect both morale and performance. Risk factors include work factors, scheduling, unclear roles, workload, and culture. Environmental factors can also include noise, lighting, or remote work. Personal factors can include health, coping skills, and family life. Fatigue, stress, and burnout can lead to poor decisions, slower reactions, and workplace incidents. Encourage open communication, take breaks when needed, and ask for help early. A healthy, balanced crew performs better, stays more alert, and supports each other through challenges. Caring for mental health is a key part of caring for safety. We control psychosocial hazards the same way as physical ones. Eliminate or reduce them through fair work design, quiet spaces, clear roles, and support. Training, recognition, and counseling access all help keep our workplace healthy. The Occupational Health and Safety Act is different from other Alberta laws. It specifically governs how work is done safely in this province. The OHS Act, Regulation, and Code define the legal responsibilities of employers, supervisors, and workers to prevent injuries and illness. Other legislation like the Alberta Labour Code, Employment Standards, Human Rights, Environmental Protection, and Traffic Safety Acts support how we work, but not how we work safely. The Blue Book, OHS book, combines these references, ensuring we meet both safety and operational requirements. All current legislation and reference materials can be reviewed at any time through the Site Docs resource menu. Okay, let's be honest. Nobody wakes up excited to read legislation. But the truth is, everything we do on site connects back to these laws. Here's the deal. Our work is guided by the Alberta Occupational Health and Safety Act, Regulation, and Code. That's the big one. It's the rule book that covers your rights, your responsibilities, and the standards that keep us all safe. You can access it anytime through Site Docs. It's right there. If you ever want to look something up, and if you can't find it, what you need, or if a rule doesn't make sense, don't guess. Just ask your supervisor or your health and safety advisor to help you get the information fast. The rest of these acts, the Labor Code, Employment Standards, WHMIS, Traffic Safety Act, Workers' Compensation, and so on, all tie into how we work safely and legally. Bottom line, you don't have to memorize every regulation. You just need to know they exist, know where to find them, and know who to ask if you're not sure. That's what keeps you compliant and out of trouble. Part 2, Public, Visitors, and Contractors. All right, let's talk subcontractors, the backbone of our operations, and occasionally the reason we lose sleep. Here's the deal. Before you even fire up a machine or step on site, you need to have your WCP coverage in good standing. That's your proof that you're covered and compliant, no exceptions. You're also expected to follow the law, all of it. That means the Alberta OHS Act Reg Code and any directives from safety officers. On site, safe work procedures are your playbook. If you're not sure of one, ask before you act. Every worker under your supervision must be trained and confident before using tools or equipment. And if something happens, a near miss, an injury, or even something that just doesn't feel right, report it immediately. The faster we know, the faster we can fix it. Lastly, and this one's big, stop work if there's any imminent danger. No job, no deadline, and no boss's text message is worth an injury. We sort it out first, then get back to work safely. Okay, so subcontractors working under Helms Construction are expected to come prepared and stay professional. First, paperwork before power tools. All insurance, core, C-Core, operator certifications, and inspection records must be in before work starts. Keep your equipment in safe working order and report any issues right away. Sign in and out every day. It's how we know who's on site in case of an emergency. Follow posted signage and respect all speed limits, 10 kilometers per hour on active sites. Complete and submit your FLHA's fall protection plans and inspection forms accurately and on time. And finally, act professional. No horseplay, no distractions, and zero tolerance for substance use while on site. At Helms, we lead by example. Safety isn't optional, it's part of the job. All visitors must follow site safety rules, must wear their required PPE, stay in designated areas, and report unsafe conditions to a supervisor. Visitors must be escorted when needed and set the same professional example as everyone else. Visitors should avoid distracting workers or interfering with operations. If a visitor must cross an active area, stop the task and guide them safely through. Clear communication between the escort, operator, and visitor prevents near misses and ensures control of the work area. Visitors must sign in and out and wear appropriate PPE and stay in designated areas. Self-employed persons, clients, and other site participants also share responsibility for safety. They must comply with all safety expectations, report hazards, and cooperate with company staff when on site. Drivers, service crews, or delivery personnel may arrive without full orientation. They must still follow posted signage, stay in safe zones, and obey supervisor direction. Approach any unfamiliar person to verify they have checked in. Maintaining control of who is on site protects everyone. General rules and progressive discipline. Some examples, but not limited to the following general rules. No smoking except in designated areas. No running. No horseplay, fighting, gambling, or firearms. No intoxicating substances. Seatbelts must always be worn in vehicles and equipment. Maintain good housekeeping. Report all incidents, injuries, illness, and near misses immediately to your supervisor. Protect company property from theft, vandalism, or misuse. The progressive disciplinary process is designed to protect workers, clients, and the integrity of the site, not to punish anyone. If a concern arises, it starts with a verbal discussion to correct behavior and provide coaching. If issues continue, a written warning follows, and serious or repeated violations can lead to suspension or termination. Our goal is to correct unsafe actions early, reinforce accountability, and maintain a safe, professional work environment for everyone on site. Part 3, Health and Safety Committee. The Health and Safety Committee and representatives play a key role in the internal responsibility system, which simply means everyone shares responsibility for keeping the workplace safe. Their goal is to make sure everyone understands their health and safety roles, that communication stays open, and that any issues are handled quickly and fairly. A strong committee helps create a safer work environment and reduces the risk of incidents, injuries, and occupational illnesses. Everyone, management, supervisors, workers, and even visitors, has a part to play in safety. It's a team effort from top to bottom. Committee contact information and committee representative information is available in Site Docs and posted in the site trailer if you ever need support or have a concern. Health and Safety Committee representatives wear a lot of hats. They advise management on safety performance, communicate safety expectations, and help ensure the workplace meets or exceeds legislative standards. They also maintain the incident reporting system, assist with investigations, and help make sure corrective actions are actually done. On top of that, they support worker training, monitor safety plans, and lead by example, showing what safe professional work looks like on site. If you have questions or concerns, reach out to your safety representative. They're there to help you, not to hassle. Training is the foundation of safe and efficient operations. Every worker, subcontractor, and driver on site must be trained and competent for the tasks they perform. This section will cover the types of training required, how competency is verified, and the ongoing refreshers that keep our team safe and compliant. Remember, training isn't just a checkbox. It's how we build awareness, confidence, and consistency in every part of our work. Our training path has 5 key stages: orientation, job-specific hands-on training, certification courses, toolbox meetings, and refresher training. This structure keeps every worker's skills current and ensures we meet core and OHS requirements year-round. Just as an absolute reminder, we do conduct scheduled health and safety meetings monthly, which are company-wide. We will also host an annual review and training session annually, which is also too company-wide. Before starting work, all workers and subcontractors must complete the orientation process. This includes submitting your payroll, worker information forms, and if you drive company or personal vehicles for work, a copy of your valid driver's license. During orientation, we'll review essential safety documents, including our health and safety policy, company rules, PPE requirements, emergency procedures, and field level hazard assessments. We'll also cover safe work practices, mobile equipment operation, WHMIS, and hazardous materials information system, and reporting procedures for incidents and near misses. Completing this checklist confirms you understand the expectations and responsibilities for working safely on any site. Hands-on training is where we put safety into practice. Before any worker or operator is considered competent, they must complete and demonstrate understanding in key areas of the job. That includes proper use and inspection of PPE, site orientation with muster points and emergency equipment, and daily review of field level hazard assessments, updating them whenever conditions or tasks change. Workers also review safe work practices like ladder use, housekeeping, and line of fire awareness, along with any task-specific procedures such as equipment operation or material handling. We make sure everyone understands their emergency role and how to report near misses or hazards right away. A supervisor signs off only when a worker has shown full understanding and can safely perform the task on their own. The Workplace Hazardous Materials Information System, or WHMIS, provides the framework for identifying and communicating information about hazardous products used in the workplace. It ensures that workers understand the hazards, know how to handle products safely, and are prepared to respond in the event of an exposure or emergency. Every worker needs to understand how to safely handle hazardous products on site. WHMIS training is part of your orientation and will be refreshed every year to keep everyone up to date. Safety data sheets, or SDS, are available anytime through Site Docs. That's where you'll find product details, safe handling instructions, and what to do in an emergency. All chemical containers must be labeled correctly, showing the product name, safe handling precautions, and a reference to SDS sheets. If a label is missing or damaged, don't use the product until it's replaced. And remember, used oil or oily rags need to be disposed of separately and through proper waste management. Don't toss them in the regular trash. That's a fire risk. Take a few seconds to double check labels, look up the SDS if you're unsure, and handle all products safely. Let's move along to part 5, hazard identification and assessment. Hazard assessments are the foundation of every safe workday. We use 3 levels to make sure risks are identified and controlled before work begins. A formal hazard assessment looks at overall company operations. It's reviewed yearly or whenever an incident or inspection points to new hazards. A site-specific hazard assessment is completed at the start of each new project to identify location-based risks like traffic flow, ground stability, or environmental exposure. And the field level hazard assessment, or FLHA, is completed daily by workers on site. It must be reviewed at toolbox meetings and updated anytime conditions, equipment, or tasks change. Every worker is responsible for reviewing and signing the FLHA before starting work. Know your hazards. Common physical hazards include slips, trips, and falls, working at heights, line of fire, noise, vibration, manual handling and ergonomics. Knowing what can hurt you is the first step to preventing incidents. Some examples of chemical and environmental hazards: dust, fumes, adhesives, sealants, propane, fuel and hydraulic systems, fire, hot work, working in extreme weather conditions, heat and cold emergencies and stress, UV exposure and sunlight. Construction sites are busy places with constant equipment movement and changing conditions. Only trained and authorized workers may operate excavators, skid steers, man lifts, zoom booms, or telehandlers. Complete a pre-use inspection before operating any equipment. Stay alert around moving machinery, use spotters when required, and follow all posted routes and speed limits. Verify ground stability before lifting, loading, or working near excavations or trenches. Locate all underground and overhead utilities before starting work. Control dust and airborne hazards with water suppression or respiratory protection during cutting, trenching, or grading. Watch for soft ground, slopes, and icy surfaces. These increase slip and rollover risks. Maintain awareness, communicate clearly, and follow your safe work procedures at all times. Not all hazards are physical. Some affect our mental focus, decision-making, or overall well-being. Fatigue and stress can lower awareness and increase mistakes, especially when operating equipment or working long shifts. Psychosocial hazards like poor communication, pressure, or conflict also impact safety and teamwork. Poor housekeeping or a negative work culture can quickly create unsafe habits. And while confined spaces are rare in pit operations, the same rule applies. If a task involves restricted entry or limited airflow, stop and get authorization before entry. Safety depends on both mindset and environment, so take care of yourself and your crew. Environmental conditions on construction sites change constantly and can create serious hazards if not controlled. Heat and sun require hydration, rest breaks, and proper protection to prevent heat stress. Cold and wet conditions demand traction aids, warm gear, and attention to icy or slippery areas. Wind and dust can affect visibility and air quality. Secure materials, dust control, and use respiratory protection when required. Continuous noise and vibration exposure damages hearing. Wear hearing protection and rotate tasks where possible. Manage exhaust and fumes by ensuring good ventilation and maintaining all equipment. Maintain safe lighting and visibility, especially during low light or high glare conditions. Conditions can change hour by hour, Review them during the toolbox meeting and FLHA before work begins and throughout your shift. High-risk tasks on construction sites include excavation, equipment operation, tool use, and hot work activities. Excavation and groundwork require shoring, slope control, and safe access to prevent collapse. Powered mobile equipment such as excavators, loaders, and telehandlers, etc., create line of fire and blind spot hazards. Maintain communication and follow traffic control plans. Hand, power, and air tools must be inspected before use, kept in good condition, and used only with proper guards and attachments. Lifting and material handling involve rigging, crane use, and safe manual techniques to avoid strain or drop loads. Fueling, welding, and cutting activities require fire prevention, spill control, and proper storage of flammables. Other additional high-risk tasks include working around energy sources, confined spaces, and changing environmental conditions. Electrical hazards come from overhead lines, temporary power, or energized systems. Contact must be prevented through planning and lockout procedures. Environmental risks such as heat, cold, dust, and poor visibility require daily review and control measures. Confined spaces require testing, isolation, and constant monitoring for safe entry. Good housekeeping prevents slips, trips, and line of fire incidents, and fatigue management is critical for focus and safety. All workers must be prepared for emergencies, know your procedures, evacuation routes, and how to respond safely. Critical controls are the measures that prevent serious injury or loss of life. Always isolate energy sources using lockout and tagout before servicing or clearing equipment. Use spotters and clear communication for all equipment movement and work near power lines or congested areas. Maintain a fire watch during any hot work until the area is cool and confirmed safe. Wear task-specific PPE, respiratory protection for dust, gloves and eye protection for cutting and grinding, and fall protection when working at height. Complete a FLHA and review it during the toolbox talk before starting each task. Only trained and authorized workers may perform high-risk work or operate heavy equipment. Follow all safe work practices and safe job procedures for fueling, lifting, and working in restricted areas. Always be ready for emergencies. Know where the extinguishers are located, the first aid kits, and muster point, and report every incident immediately. Risk assessment. Know your risk. Every task is evaluated for risk before work begins. This chart shows how we assess each hazard by combining its frequency and severity. Along the left, frequency ranges from frequent, meaning it happens often, to extremely remote, where it's unlikely to occur. Across the top, severity runs from imminent danger, where serious injury or fatality could result, down to negligible, where the impact is minimal. When you cross these two factors, you find the risk level. Red zones are high risk and require immediate controls or a change in the procedure. Yellow represents manageable risk with safe practices and supervision. Green means the risk is low and acceptable once basic controls are in place. Every worker should understand this chart. It's how we decide which hazards need the most attention to keep everyone safe. Complete your FLHA daily before work. Review it at a toolbox meeting and update it as conditions change. This process ensures hazards are always being identified and controlled, not ignored. The 5 steps are: recognize, assess, control, document, and follow up. Use this process every day on every job. It's the foundation of our safety system. Let's look at an example of how a field level hazard assessment is applied during equipment operation. The task involves operating heavy equipment where wind and nearby activity can create hazards such as loose materials or flying debris. The potential risk includes eye injuries or struck by incidents, giving this task a high risk score of 1B. To control the hazard, workers first secure or remove loose materials that could become airborne. Tarps or screens may be installed to reduce wind exposure, and the crew should position themselves upwind whenever possible. Operators wear proper PPE, such as safety glasses with side shields, and supervisors review the FLHA on site, checking that controls remain effective throughout the day. Let's take a moment to review what we've covered so far. Safety is a team effort, and everyone has a part to play. Supervisors and managers are responsible for ensuring workers are trained and competent. They enforce PPE use, promote safe work practices, and investigate incidents to prevent reoccurring. Employees must follow all training and safe job procedures, use PPE correctly, and report hazards or unsafe conditions immediately. Subcontractors and visitors are expected to follow site rules, wear required PPE, and communicate any hazards they notice to a supervisor. This recap ties together the key responsibilities that keep every site safe and efficient. Part 6, Hazard Control. Safety starts with you. Now that we've reviewed everyone's responsibility, let's move into Safe Work Practices, or SWPs. Safe work practices outline the standard methods and expectations for completing tasks safely on site. They're designed to control the most common hazards, provide consistent procedures, and protect both workers and equipment. Every worker is expected to understand and follow the applicable SWPs for their job. These practices are the foundation of safe, efficient operations, and they're reinforced through daily toolbox talks, FLHAs, and supervision. When working outdoors, conditions can change quickly, so preparation is everything. Come to work ready for all types of weather, from hot, dusty days to snow, ice, and high winds. Dress in layers and bring the right gear for the conditions. Drink water regularly throughout your shift, at least 4 liters in heat, and remember to stay hydrated even in winter. Wear weather-appropriate PPE, sun protection in summer, and insulated gloves, boots, and traction aids in icy conditions. Use the buddy system. Look out for your coworkers during extreme temperatures or long shifts. Watch for wildlife on roads and in active areas. Stay alert, avoid sudden movements, and report any sightings immediately. Report changing weather, visibility, or unsafe ground conditions right away. And always be aware of your surroundings. Equipment movement, terrain, and weather can all change in moments. Motor vehicle operation. Key risks: backing up, speed, and proper use of seatbelts. When operating any vehicle, whether on or off site, your only task while driving is to drive. Stay alert, stay focused, and eliminate distractions completely. No texting, phone use, or multitasking of any kind. Always complete your pre-trip inspection, wear your seatbelt, and adjust for site conditions such as dust, poor visibility, or uneven ground. Keep your speed appropriate for the area, use designated routes, and maintain full control of the vehicle at all times. Remember, safe driving protects you, your crew, and everyone sharing the work site and the roadways. Drive company vehicles as if they were your own. Always complete vehicle checks, wear your seatbelt, and stay alert. Use spotters when backing and report any damage immediately. Safety starts behind the wheel. Backing incidents are one of the most common causes of vehicle damage and injury on work sites. In fact, 1 in 4 vehicle incidents happen while backing up. Always follow the STAR method. Stop, think, act, and review. Before you move, take a moment to plan your route, and whenever possible, position your vehicle so you can pull through or drive forward instead of reversing. Before backing up, adjust your mirrors and seat for full visibility. Clear off any frost, dirt, or snow from mirrors and windows, and take a moment to review your surroundings. Never rely on only your mirrors or your backup camera. If your line of sight is blocked, always use a spotter. Remember, a few extra seconds of caution can prevent a serious incident. Towing must always be performed by trained and authorized personnel. Before beginning, inspect all chains, ropes, and connection points to confirm they're in good condition and properly rated for the job. Communication is critical. Maintain clear visual or radio contact between all operators. Ensure the area is clear of workers before applying tension. And always pull in as straight a line as possible to reduce side stress. Never stand or walk near a loaded tow line or between vehicles during towing. Avoid sudden jerks or aggressive acceleration, as this can cause equipment failure or injury. If you notice any damage or strain on towing gear, stop immediately and reassess. Remember, conduct an FLHA and follow the manufacturer's limits and your company's towing procedures every time. Spotters are a key part of safe equipment operation. Anytime a vehicle or piece of heavy equipment is moving in tight areas, the spotter and operator work as one team. Before starting any movement, take a moment to hold a quick meeting to review and agree on hand signals, positioning, and radio channels. Clear communication before the task starts prevents confusion once equipment is in motion. During the task, the spotter must stay in full view of the operator and maintain eye contact or radio contact at all times. If that contact is lost, the operator stops immediately. Remember, 2 sets of eyes save lives, and clear communication keeps everyone safe. Concrete mixer trucks have limited visibility, especially when backing up. To prevent serious incidents, spotters must be used anytime a driver's view is obstructed. Both the driver and the spotter are responsible for maintaining clear communication and ensuring no one is in the line of travel. Let's review the key safe work practices that apply when using a backing spotter. Reversing vehicles and equipment pose one of the highest risks on the worksite. A trained spotter must always be used when the operator's view is blocked. Inspect the area before backing, identify all hazards, and make sure alarms and lights are working. Operators and spotters must agree on hand signals or radio communication before starting. Maintain constant eye contact. If the spotter is out of view, stop immediately. The spotter should always stay clear of the travel path and wear high visibility PPE. Remember, safe communication and awareness prevent serious incidents. Fueling is one of the most routine tasks on site, but also one of the most dangerous if not done properly. Always shut off the engine, extinguish any ignition sources, and ensure you're properly grounded before starting. Never smoke, use cell phones, or create sparks near fueling areas. Check for leaks, damaged hoses, or fittings before every use. Make sure the nozzle is securely inserted and never leave fueling unattended. Clean up any spills right away and report larger leaks immediately. When fueling in cold weather, be extra cautious of static buildup. Ground your equipment before refueling. Remember, fueling safely means taking your time, paying attention, and treating every drop like a potential ignition source. Before fueling, shut off engine and allow equipment to cool. No smoking, open flames, or hot work nearby. Park on level ground with brakes applied. During fueling, Use approved fuel containers and pumps. Keep nozzle in contact with the tank to prevent static sparks. Do not overfill. Leave space for expansion. After fueling, wipe up any spills immediately. Secure fuel caps tightly. Store containers in designated ventilated areas. Working at height is one of the leading causes of serious injuries in construction. Before starting, identify every task where a fall could occur. Even a few feet can cause life-changing injuries. Use fall protection anytime there's a risk of falling 3 meters or more, or whenever site conditions require it. Inspect your harness, lanyard, and connectors before every use. Make sure they're in good condition and properly fitted. Keep your anchor point directly above you. Maintain 3 points of contact when climbing and avoid leaning or overreaching. Always use guardrails, travel restraint, or fall arrest systems as required, and never bypass fall protection for convenience. Every time you climb, stay focused. Working safely at height means planning ahead and staying connected. Before working at height, your first priority is a secure anchor point. Every fall protection system relies on the strength of its anchor. And if the anchor fails, everything else fails with it. Anchor points must be rated for fall arrest and capable of supporting 5,000 pounds. Use only approved engineered anchors. Never attach to guardrails, conduit, or equipment that isn't designed for fall protection. Always connect above your D-ring when possible to reduce fall distance and swing hazards. Inspect anchors before use, confirm they're properly installed, and report any damaged or questionable points immediately. Anytime you're working 3 meters or higher, a fall protection system is required, whether that's a harness and lifeline, guardrails, or a restraint system. A written fall protection plan must be in place for elevated work such as inspections, maintenance, or access on structures. Only trained and authorized workers may perform work at height. Never work alone. Always inspect your gear and anchor points before use, and stop immediately if conditions change. Safety at height depends on preparation and awareness. Before working at height, confirm a fall protection system is in place and review the plan for your task. Inspect your gear and make sure you know your anchor locations and connection methods. While working, maintain 3-point contact, stay within your restraint zone, and stay aware of what's happening around you. Other workers, equipment movement, and overhead activity. Keep lifelines clear of sharp edges and hot work, and secure your tools to prevent dropped objects. Communicate before moving or repositioning. When you're done, secure the area, store your gear properly, and report any unsafe conditions or damaged equipment. Working safely at height depends on awareness, communication, and control. Inspect your fall protection equipment before every use. Check your harness webbing for cuts, burns, or frays, and inspect all hardware for corrosion or distortion. Ensure your lifelines and lanyards are clean, untangled, and retract properly. Only connect to approved anchor points rated for 5,000 pounds. After use, hang your gear to dry and remove any damaged items from service immediately. All right, ladders. Everyone's used them. Everyone's tempted to cut corners. First rule, inspect it. If it's cracked, bent, or wobbly, don't climb it. Follow the 4-to-1 rule. For every 4 feet of height, move the base 1 foot out. And yes, that actually matters. Keep 3 points of contact. And no, carrying a drill in one hand doesn't count. Use your belt, pouch, or rope to lift tools. Don't stand on the top 2 steps. You're not getting extra air time. You're getting a trip to first aid. And if you find yourself leaning so far you could audition for Cirque du Soleil, stop, climb down, and move the ladder. Ladders are simple. Respect them, or They'll teach you a quick lesson in gravity. Before stepping onto any roof, make sure warning lines or visual markers are set at least 2 meters from the edge. Never carry materials by hand up a ladder. Use planks or roof boards for secure footing, and guard or cover any skylights, vents, or openings. Keep your area clean and organized to prevent slips and falls. Wear non-slip CSA-approved footwear and avoid loose clothing that could catch. Use all required PPE and communicate clearly with your crew. If you see an unsafe condition, report it immediately. Prevention only works if everyone stays alert. Propane is extremely flammable. Always handle it with care. Before connecting or using a cylinder, inspect it for leak, rust, or damage. Make sure fittings are tight and valves are closed when not in use. Store propane upright and secured, away from heat, sparks, or open flames. When transporting cylinders, keep them ventilated, never inside a closed vehicle. Remember, treat propane with respect. A small leak or spark can cause a major incident. When working with propane, it's important to understand the hazards. The biggest risks include fire or explosion from leaks or ignition sources, and burns from torch flame or heated parts. Damaged hoses or fittings can cause gas leaks, while cylinders exposed to heat or impact can rupture under pressure. In enclosed spaces, propane can displace oxygen, leading to suffocation. Always stay out of the line of fire, especially near regulators or pressure releases, and treat every cylinder as if it is live. Housekeeping. Good housekeeping is one of the simplest ways to prevent incidents on site. Poor cleanup habits can lead to trips, damaged equipment, fire hazards, or blocked emergency access. Keep walkways and stairs clear, clean up spills immediately, and store tools and materials where they belong. Secure and label all fuel and chemical containers, and make sure waste is placed in proper bins. At the end of every shift, take a few minutes to tidy up. It's not just cleanup, it's part of working safely. Every worker is responsible for keeping their area safe. Clean as you go, report hazards right away, and return tools when you're done. Keep walkways and exits clear and communicate before moving materials. Simple habits, big impact. Stay out of the line of fire. That means any path a moving object or tool could take. Use tool belts. Never throw or slide materials. And keep clear of suspended loads. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Line of fire hazards are some of the most common causes of serious injuries on construction sites. Stay alert when working near moving equipment or suspended materials. Maintain eye contact or radio contact before entering any equipment zone, and never position yourself between a vehicle, load, or a fixed object. Always stay clear of swing areas, lift arms, and suspended loads, and keep cords and tools organized to avoid trip and pinch points. If you see a hazard or near miss, report it immediately. Awareness and communication prevent injuries. Powered mobile equipment includes loaders, skid steers, dozers, excavators, and other heavy machines used for material handling and earthwork. These machines are essential for production, but they are also one of the highest risk activities on any site. Always stay alert, maintain eye contact with operators, and follow established traffic control and communication procedures. Again, only trained, competent, and authorized workers may operate powered mobile equipment. Supervisors must verify proof of competency, such as a forklift or telehandler ticket. Unauthorized workers are never permitted to use or move equipment under any circumstances. Operators must be fit for duty, free from impairment, and follow all company procedures and OHS code requirements. Operators must complete a full pre-use inspection before starting equipment each day. Check fluids, tires, hydraulics, seatbelts, alarms, and safety devices. If any defects are found, tag the unit as out of service until repairs are complete. Never bypass safety issues. Keep written records of all inspections, maintenance, and repairs. Always follow the manufacturer's manual and company inspection procedures. Seatbelts must be worn at all times when operating equipment. Never allow riders unless the equipment is specifically designed for passengers. Carry loads low and travel at safe speeds. Sudden turns or high lifts can cause tip-overs. Maintain safe distances from power lines and obstacles, and always use a spotter if visibility is restricted. Check that reversing alarms and warning devices are working before each use. Never work under or near suspended or swinging loads. Block or support elevated components before working underneath them. Maintain exclusion zones. Pedestrians must always stay clear of operating equipment. Refuel safely. Shut off the engine and stay away from ignition sources while fueling. Be aware of environmental hazards like dust, fumes, noise, or icy or uneven surfaces that affect traction and visibility. Let's review these critical controls. Seatbelts on at all times. Only trained, competent, and authorized operators. Daily inspections must be completed visually and recorded quarterly. Keep your loads low and secured. Spotters must be used in restricted visibility areas. No unauthorized riders or workers are allowed in exclusion zones. Elevated parts must be blocked before work begins. And defective or damaged equipment must be tagged and removed from service immediately. Following these controls prevent serious incidents and keep everyone safe. Powered mobile equipment is one of the biggest killers on construction sites. These machines are powerful, fast, and often blind to what's around them. One distracted second is all it takes. Keep your head on a swivel. Constant awareness is your best protection. Use the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 seconds, scan 20 feet around you for 20 seconds. Look for movement, hazards, or changes in the work zone. And remember the STAR method. Stop, think, then act, and reassess. Before you step into an equipment path or approach an operator, stop. Make eye contact before entering a work zone. Never assume they can see you. Stay visible, stay alert, and stay alive. Every worker has responsibilities when working around powered mobile equipment, not just the operator. Do not enter blind spots or approach a machine unless you're signaled to do so by the operator or the spotter. Make eye contact and wait for clear hand signals before entering the work zone. Stay out of exclusion zones and keep a safe distance from moving machinery at all times. And finally, report any unsafe acts, near misses, or equipment incidences immediately. Safety around heavy equipment is a team effort. Stay alert and visible. Excavators are powerful and essential on nearly every construction site, but they're also one of the most hazardous pieces of equipment to work around. They swing wide, move fast, and have massive blind spots. Whether you're operating, spotting, or working nearby, treat the excavator like a live hazard at all times. Never assume the operator sees you, and never walk behind or under a raised boom or bucket. Clear communication and eye contact saves lives. Stay visible, stay alert, and stay clear of the danger zone. The following tasks are considered high hazard and critical when operating an excavator. Pre-operation inspection and startup, entering and exiting the machine, excavation and trenching near foundations or underground utilities, backfilling, grading, and general site prep, loading trucks or placing materials in congested work zones, working near overhead or buried power lines, operating on uneven or sloped ground, coordinating movements with ground workers and spotters, lifting or placing heavy materials using buckets or attachments, refueling, servicing, and properly securing the machine at the end of shift. Each of these activities carries significant risk. Maintain awareness, follow your safe work procedures, and never operate beyond your level of competency. Excavators are powerful, but they can turn dangerous fast if you're not paying attention. Always stay clear of the swing radius. That counterweight can take you out in a second. Watch your footing on uneven or sloped ground to prevent rollovers. Never work too close to trench edges. Ground collapse happens without warning. Operators, check your blind spots every time you swing, travel, or load a truck. Know where your utilities are, both overhead and underground. Keep an eye out for hydraulic leaks under pressure, and make sure your bucket or attachments are pinned and locked in place. And use 3 points of contact every time you get on or off the machine. No shortcuts. Excavators demand respect. Stay sharp, stay visible, and keep your head on a swivel. Safe excavator operation depends on awareness, control, and communication. Perform a complete inspection before use, travel with the bucket low, and never approach an edge too closely. Always lower the boom and shut down properly before exiting the cab. Forklifts can be one of the most hazardous machines on site if used carelessly. Tipovers are a leading cause of serious injuries, especially on turns, ramps, or uneven ground. Always travel at a safe speed and keep your load low for better stability. Watch for an obstructed view when carrying high loads and use a spotter if needed. Pedestrian strikes are another major risk in tight areas. Never assume others can see you. Be cautious of exhaust buildup in enclosed spaces and ensure proper ventilation. Finally, always check your forks. Make sure the load is level and secure before lifting or traveling. Telehandlers combine the features of a forklift and crane, and with that comes unique hazards. Overturning can happen when exceeding the rated load chart or extending the boom too far. Soft or uneven ground can cause stability loss, especially when turning or swinging the boom. Always watch for overhead power lines when raising the boom. Contact can be fatal. Loads can fall if not properly secured or if lifted at full extension. Be aware of blind spots created by the boom or attachments and use spotters whenever needed. Only use attachments rated for the specific handler. Never improvise or mix components. Skid steers are compact but powerful machines with limited visibility and high injury potential if operated carelessly. Always be aware of crush and pinch points between the lift arms and the frame. Avoid tipovers by operating on stable ground and never overloading the bucket. Use caution when maneuvering in tight spaces or reversing. Workers can easily be struck by moving equipment. Check that the bucket is properly attached and secure before every use to prevent detachment or sudden movement. Maintain visibility at all times. Remember there are blind zones on both sides of the machine. Safe operation depends on awareness, communication, and following all manufacturer and company procedures. Aerial and man lifts present significant fall and contact hazards if not operated correctly. The most common risks include tip overs, caused by overreaching or operating on uneven ground. Falls from the platform occur if tie-offs or guardrails are not used properly. Stay clear of overhead power lines and structures. Maintain safe approach distances at all times. Be aware of pinch points and crush hazards between the lift and fixed objects. Secure loads before movement and avoid sudden starts or stops that could cause platform instability. Always inspect hydraulics, mechanical systems, and safety controls before use. Watch the weather hazards such as high winds, ice, or poor visibility. Never exit a raised platform without authorization or proper fall protection in place. Remember, pre-use inspection, stable positioning, and proper tie-off save lives. All operators and drivers are evaluated on hire after 3 months and every year to confirm ongoing competency. These reviews help ensure safe, consistent equipment operation and identify any additional training needs. Working in southern Alberta means encountering a wide variety of wildlife, from deer, elk, and coyotes to bears and cougars in certain regions. Wildlife activity can increase near construction sites, roadways, and forested areas, especially during dawn, dusk, or seasonal migration. Workers must stay alert, report sightings, and follow company procedures to reduce risks of encounters or vehicle collisions. Remember, wildlife are unpredictable. Never attempt to approach or feed any animal. Additional and more thorough wildlife awareness training will be conducted if animal activity or encounters become a concern in your work area. Stay alert during early morning and evening hours when animals are most active. Reduce bear attractants by following triple containment. Secure all food, garbage, and scented materials in sealed containers. Even small items like apple cores, sunflower seeds, or food wrappers can attract wildlife to your work area. Never leave food waste, drink containers, or lunch bags unsecured in vehicles or equipment. If wildlife is nearby, sound your horn or use your radio to alert others and allow the animal to leave undisturbed. Report all sightings or encounters immediately to your supervisor. Inspect the area before starting work and follow any additional site-specific wildlife procedures. Stay calm, stay aware, and help keep the worksite safe for everyone, including the wildlife. Safe job procedures are designed to protect workers by outlining the correct and safe way to complete each task. Training is job specific, and every worker must review all relevant safe work practices and safe job procedures in the Site Docs resource menu before starting work. Before beginning any new task, make sure you understand the procedure. If you're unsure, stop and ask for clarification. These documents are there to keep you safe, and following them ensures the job gets done right and everyone goes home safe. Personal protective equipment, or PPE. Inspect your PPE daily. Ensure that it is clean, dry, and in good condition. Wear your basic task-specific gear, such as gloves, safety glasses, hearing protection, high visibility clothing. Replace damaged or worn items immediately. PPE only works if it's in good shape. Foot protection. Inspect daily before use. Alberta OHS Code Section 242, subsection 1 indicates if there is a danger of injury to a worker's feet, the worker must wear protective footwear that meets the requirements of CSA Standard Z195-14. Protective footwear in good condition, dry, no rips, missing laces, lifting soles, etc. Worn or damaged need to be repaired or replaced. When it's required, per work site hazard assessment for hazards that could cause foot injuries, such as falling or rolling objects, sharp objects, slippery or uneven surfaces, heavy equipment, chemical exposure, electrical hazards, or hot surfaces or molten material. Before using any fall protection equipment, you must inspect it thoroughly every single day and before each use. Alberta OHS Code 9 requires inspection whenever you're working at heights greater than 3 meters, which is 10 feet, or any time there's a risk of falling onto hazards below. Start with your full body harness. Check the webbing for cuts, burns, frays, or signs of mold. Look closely at the stitching. There should be no loose or broken threads. Inspect D-rings for cracks, rust, or deformation. And make sure buckles and adjusters move freely and hold properly. Finally, check that the labels are legible and intact. If not, the harness must be removed from service. Next, look at your lanyard. The shock absorber must not be deployed, torn, or previously used. Inspect the snap hooks or carabiners for cracks, corrosion, or distortion. They must close and lock automatically. Check the rope or webbing for cuts or damage from heat and confirm that all tags are clear and readable. For connectors, make sure gates snap shut securely and that the body is free from rust, cracks, or wear. All connectors must show a visible load rating and manufacturer marking. Inspect anchors and anchor points for cracks, rust, or fatigue. They must be securely mounted and rated for at least 5,000 pounds per worker, unless designed by an engineer as part of the system. Confirm that the inspection tag is current and that anchors are tested and replaced as required. Finally, review the general requirements. Inspection logs must be up to date for any defective or questionable gear that must be tagged out and removed from service immediately. Only trained and competent workers are allowed to perform these inspections. Your fall protection system is only as strong as its weakest part. Take the time to inspect it properly. Your life depends on it. Inspections and maintenance, part 7. Inspections are a key part of prevention. We check offices, shops, vehicles, tools, and work sites on a regular schedule to catch hazards before they cause incidents. If you notice anything unsafe, damaged, or missing, report it immediately to your supervisor or health and safety committee rep. Don't wait for the next inspection. Everyone has the power to prevent incidents. Office and shop inspections are done quarterly by supervisors and annually by senior management. Work sites receive formal quarterly inspections and informal monthly reviews. Vehicles, tools, and fire extinguishers all follow specific inspection intervals listed in our health and safety manual and posted on the bulletin board. I'll give you a moment to review those frequencies now. Moving on to part 8, emergency management. Emergency response plan and training. Our emergency response plan outlines what to do during injuries, fires, spills, or severe weather. Every worker must know the muster point, key contacts, and their role during an emergency. Every work site must have clear Alberta OHS compliant emergency response plan in place. The goal is simple: to respond quickly and safely to injuries, fires, falls, spills, severe weather, and other emergencies while protecting workers, the public, property, and the environment. This plan applies to all employees, subcontractors, and visitors on site, especially in areas involving work at height, equipment operation, or hazardous materials. Emergencies can take many forms, including worker injury or medical emergency, ground instability or collapse, entrapment or engulfment by material or equipment, falls from height, fire or explosion, hazardous material spills such as fuel or oil, severe weather events like lightning or high winds, violence, threats, or security incidents, and vehicle or equipment collisions. Everyone on site must know how to respond, who to call, where to go, and how to protect themselves and others. Quick, calm, and coordinated action saves lives. Every worksite must have the required emergency supplies and protective measures in place before work begins. First aid kits are fully stocked and located on site. Emergency contact numbers are posted and easily accessible to all workers. As required under OHS Schedule 2, there must always be at least one certified first aider on site. Fire extinguishers are mounted on equipment, in trucks, and in buildings. Make sure you know where they are. Spill kits are available near fueling and storage areas and should be inspected regularly. The muster point is marked and must be known to every worker. All workers are expected to be trained in basic emergency response and to follow the direction of the designated first aider or site supervisor in an emergency. Emergency contact information is posted in the site trailer, on the safety board, and within Site Doc's resource menu. In any emergency, call 911 first for ambulance, fire, or police. Then notify your supervisor, first aider on duty, or safety coordinator. Always be aware of the nearest hospital or medical clinic in relation to your work area. Quick action and knowing where to find help makes all the difference in an emergency. During any emergency, every worker has specific responsibilities to help keep the site safe and organized. First, always know where your muster point is located. That's your go-to area if you need to evacuate. Report all incidents or near miss immediately to your supervisor so the right response can begin. Follow the directions of first aiders and supervisors at all times. They'll coordinate the response and make sure everyone is accounted for. In some cases, you may be the first aider. Never put yourself in further danger. If it's not safe to help, move to a secure location. If you can assist safely, help with crowd control or guide others to the muster point. Once you arrive at the muster point, stay there until you're cleared to leave. This helps ensure everyone is safe and accounted for. Critical response steps. Raise the alarm. Respond to injuries. Call 911 when needed, and control hazards only if it's safe. For spills, stop the source and contain it. For severe weather, stop work and take shelter until it's safe to continue. Violence, remove yourself and others from danger. Call 911 if needed, and notify your supervisor immediately. For fire, use fire extinguisher only if it's small and safe. Otherwise, evacuate to the muster point and call 911. Never re-enter unless you've been cleared by the fire department. When you hear an alarm or evacuation call, go straight to the muster point. Supervisors will take a head count. Stay there until you're officially told it's all clear. Know how to use a fire extinguisher. Remember the acronym PASS. Pull the pin. Aim to the base of the fire. Squeeze and sweep. Use only if the fire is small and your exit is clear. Ensure your exit is always behind you. If you're unsure, evacuate and call 911. All workers must know the location of first aid kits and emergency supplies on site. First aid kits are located in all trucks, powered mobile equipment, and inside the site office trailer. Emergency eye wash stations are available in designated trucks and in the site office trailer. Emergency blankets are stored in the office trailer and can be used for treating shock or exposure. A list of trained first aiders is posted on Site Docs and is also on the site trailer bulletin board. Take a moment to familiarize yourself with these locations at the start of every project. Quick access saves time and potentially saves lives. Part 9, Incident Investigations. All incidents need to be reported immediately to your supervisor. Documentation is required for injuries, property damage, or near misses. It helps us learn and prevent repeats. A near miss is a warning. Report it the same way as an incident, even if no one was hurt and there was nothing damaged. It's an opportunity to correct hazards before they cause harm. Incident investigations. It is so important that we have an opportunity to investigate every incident and near miss by your supervisor, HSE advisor, and your health and safety committee rep. Together, they can identify the root cause and ensure corrective actions are put into place so that we can prevent future incidents. Part 10, Program Administration. Core HSE program activities. Our health and safety management system keeps the company core certified and compliant with Alberta OHS. It covers hazard assessments, emergency drills, incident reporting, investigations, training, toolbox talks, safety meetings, and annual reviews, to name a few. It's time to complete your health and safety quiz. Remember, safety starts with you. You can now complete this quiz directly on SiteDocs along with any other assigned quizzes. Take your time and make sure you understand the key safety expectations before submitting. Question 1 through 3 covers worker rights and responsibilities. Question 4 to 6 covers hazard assessment and control. PPE and safe work practices, question 7 and question 8. Emergency response, question 9 through question 11. Question 12 and 13 cover incident reporting and investigation. Question 14 and 15 cover harassment and violence prevention. Inspection and continuous improvement, question number 16 and 17. Safety participation, question 18 and 19. Your final question will be open-ended. Well, that wraps up our health and safety orientation for Helms. Hopefully it doesn't feel too much like a crash course. Well, at least not the kind we're trying to prevent. Anyway, remember, safety isn't just a policy, it's practice. Every decision, every task, and every shift starts with you. Helms is committed to maintaining a safe and healthy workplace for everyone, employees, subcontractors, visitors, clients, and the public. Your cooperation helps us to protect our workers, maintain our C-Corps, and ensure everyone goes home safe at the end of the day. Thank you for your commitment and your participation.